everybody, Chris from BattleGoat.
And George from BattleGoat.
Just another video to talk to you guys about the status of Supreme Ruler 2030, and today we're going to be able to start talking about the roadmap, the plan that we have for what is BattleGoat Studios going to do next. It's been a couple of months now since the release of Supreme Ruler 2030. Lots of changes. We have had fast track updates at least weekly, sometimes more frequently than that. And we really feel that the bulk of the issues that were brought up as concerns on release day and since then, that we have done a lot to address those, and that the concerns that were said before seem to have died down. So this, of course, has us paying more attention to, well, what else is the community talking about? What else is the community saying they would like to see? I don't think many people will be surprised. They've probably seen the same that we do, is a lot of people are saying, I want to be able to play all the content that I got to play in the previous games. Supreme Ruler Ultimate was bringing together multiple games into one. Making the new version of the engine, Supreme Ruler 2030, we needed to focus on one era to make sure that we got all that stuff clean. Now we're starting to look at that legacy content. So BattleGoat Studios is going to be developing more additions to this. The first of these DLCs, which will also be available as a standalone if somebody wants just a specific era, we're going to start with Great War. It's the one where we know the content. It was the most recent one going back. The Great War content is pretty contained, so we know that we're going to be able to bring it into the new system and make that a good standalone product as well as offering it as additional content for the users of 2030.
And one of the things we will be doing, so as Chris mentioned, these will be available in a couple of different ways. For 2030 users, this will be available as DLC. For people who haven't purchased 2030, but they have an interest in the Great War as its own title, it will be available as a standalone product. And one of the things we will also be doing is offering a Seasons Pass, and that will give 2030 owners the ability to get all of our DLCs with one upfront purchase. So for $15 US, different wherever you're going to be in the world, you are going to be able to get at least guaranteed 3 of our DLC releases. If we release more, you'll get them all as part of that Seasons Pass. So we're pretty excited to offer this as a way for both our 2030 users to support us and us to support people who have been with us all along and are interested in more content for our games.
And that pricing is consistent with how we've done approaches to a lot of stuff in the past. Supreme Ruler 2030 had on release day a discount for any of the existing users. Now, recently the price of the game just dropped to a flat 30 US, whether you've owned the previous games or not. So that means people who bought in early, if they already had the previous Supreme Ruler Ultimate, they were getting that price early. Now it's available for everyone. We do try and look for these opportunities to create bundles and offer it as a thank you to existing players. So even though some of this pricing has changed, be sure to watch when sales do come up for anything within our library. There may be special cases where extra discounts are available if you already own some of the titles. Also talking about the roadmap, something that we're aware of for the players actively playing right now is that the legacy content that some of the community members talk about isn't just the stuff we've created. It also goes to the extensive additions made by the modding community, all the stuff that has ended up on Workshop. We have made some improvements already to Supreme Ruler 2030's modding tools. Some of them may not be published quite yet, but the initial things are making sure that the asset manager that is used to modify the different files will be able to open a Supreme Ruler Ultimate file for equipment file, for tech tree, for CVP, some of these files that modders might have modified before, being able to use the asset manager to import and immediately save it out and have the format of the file consistent with what Supreme Ruler 2030 needs. Also in our most recent update, the map editor, we realized that some of the tools we have it was a little awkward to reach the map editor. So there's now just a map editor exe in the game's root folder for those players who just want to play with the map editor. And while we're working on the code side, we're also trying to update the documentation to give modders more tools, to a better understanding of the tools that we're already using. We're very familiar with them in-house. We sometimes forget the learning curve we had to get while building these tools and making all these games over the last 2 decades.
And for Galactic Ruler fans, we haven't forgotten about you. We are also still continuing development of the engine, bringing in fact some of our changes to our core Supreme Ruler engine back into the Galactic Ruler universe. So watch for updates. In fact, we've been doing a fast track update for Galactic Ruler to test out some of these new engine changes and let players give them a try. And so keep your eye out for updates on Galactic Ruler coming forward as well.
And as always, if you have feedback for us, you can find us on our forums, on Discord, on all the usual channels. We really appreciate you guys watching the videos, leaving us comments, and we look forward to showing off all the additional content as it gets ready to publish. Thanks for watching.
Hi everybody, George again. Thanks for watching past the post-credits scene. You might think it's a Marvel movie, or maybe you forgot to hit skip to next video, but I do have one important request I'd like to ask of our most dedicated players. And if you're still watching this video all the way through, that might be you. Reviews on Steam are very important. They are important for Steam. They're important for Steam to introduce our game to players who are interested in the grand strategy genre and might not have encountered us. And so, if you are enjoying Supreme Ruler and would like to grow our community, leaving a positive review on Steam will have a big impact. So please consider doing that, and we really appreciate it. Bye.